What's going on, all my PokePeeps? It's your boy PokePete, and we are finally back at it with another one. I know we haven't posted a video in a while, guys. I just haven't had too many updates, to be honest with you. But we've still been chasing that Charizard out of Paldean Fates. One of these days, we have to hit it. I think we're open like a bajillion packs and like haven't had any luck yet. But one of these days, we're gonna pull it. I promise. So I'm gonna rip until I get it. So it's coming eventually. Today, though, we have some exciting stuff. We've got a PSA return video. We haven't done one of these yet. PSA returns are always fun. Any grading company, the returns are always fun. And in today's video, we'll be revealing some of my friends' cards as well as 10 cards that we cracked from CGC. Crack these out, send them to PSA, see if we could do better, see if we would do worse, see kind of like where it is. Like right now, the industry standard is kind of accepting of the fact that PSA stricter on vintage than they are on modern. CGC is a little bit more lenient on vintage. CGC is a little bit more lenient on some weird stuff like tops, Cardos, all that kind of good stuff, whereas PSA is a bit stricter. And then CGC tends to be a little bit stricter with the modern, specifically for their pristine labels. Their Gem Mint labels are probably equivalent to PSA, I would say. But we wanted to test some things, so we sent a few different cards, a few different types of cards, and we're going to see what the results are. We're going to see, is PSA actually stricter on vintage? Is CGC actually too strict on modern? Like, what's the ruling right now? Obviously, we're sending 10 cards. It's not going to be a big enough sample size, but, you know, it's a start. I've sent other cards before in the past. I haven't done videos about it. Most of the time, what I expect to happen is what happens. So we're going to see if we can, like, replicate that here. So these are going to be the cards that we sent off. We sent off a Scissor VMAX Rainbow Rare from Darkness Ablaze. Now, this got a Mint 9 from CGC with Quad 9 subgrade. So they said absolutely nothing about this card as a 10. This is an older CGC cert. So the old certs are going to be like the 39 starting numbers there. Right now, I think they're into the 42s. So this is an older cert for sure when CGC was being super, super strict. And it's a modern card. So I think this is going to be a PSA 10. At least I hope so. We haven't looked at any of these yet. I don't often do blind reveals, but it's always fun when you do. Rocket Zapdos. So this is an old label 9.5. This is what most people considered to be a PSA 10 anyway, back in the day. And then CGC just, went ahead and nuked their grading scale and made these 10s. That's a whole different video for a whole different topic for a whole different video. But so we cracked this. I'm expecting this to be a PSA 10 all day, no problem. We've got a Venusaur from Expedition. Now, this is a vintage card. I'm hoping this stays a 9. I'm pretty sure. It was a pretty clean card when we sent it. So I'm hoping that this one stays a 9. But I'm almost expecting it to fall to an 8, to be honest with you. I think PSA is probably going to give me one grade lower on the modern cards or on the vintage cards and one grade higher on the modern cards. So, like we're hoping that this stays a 9, but it's probably going to be an 8. We have this Mint Plus 9.5, which is the new CGC 9.5. I think that I cracked this hoping that it would get a 10, but then after I cracked it, I looked at it a little bit and I was like, it's probably going to get a 9. We'll see what happens. Like, sometimes the half grade can help you. Like, there's definitely plenty of examples of where the half grade helps. PSA not doing it. But hopefully this gets a 10. If this gets a 10, that'd be a hype card for me. I think it's probably one of the better cards that we sent off. That, the Expedition, and then there's one other big boy that we sent off in here. All right, guys. Next up, we've got this Dark Arbok. Now, this is another vintage card, Japanese vintage card. CGC had given it a Mint 9. I think I'm hoping for this one again to be in the 9 range. I don't think I saw anything too wrong with it, so hopefully it stays a 9 for us. Knowing PSA's reputation and like them being strict on vintage, I'm almost expecting it to go down some, but it'd be cool if it could stay a 9. I think I expect it to stay a 9. Next, we got like my favorite card of all time, the Sandaconda to be alt art. Super, super dope card. Doesn't get enough love. Cracked this out of what was a CGC 9.5, is now a CGC 10. This should be a pretty easy 10. I mean, like, PSA doesn't care about Sandaconda. This is a $4 card. PSA doesn't care about $4 cards. This is probably going to be an easy 10. This was going to be an interesting one. I know nothing about Cardos. I literally know nothing about Cardos, but I know that PSA is stricter on tops and Cardos cards than CGC is. I've actually cracked a CGC or a PSA 7 Topps Chrome card before, a Sparkle, that came back as a CGC 9. So, like, part of me is expecting this to be like a PSA like 4. I really have no idea. I don't know how to grade these. I don't know what to look for. It didn't look bad by any means. Like, don't get me wrong. It looked okay. It was still a pretty clean card. But definitely don't know what to expect with this. Either way, at the end of the day, this is not an expensive card no matter what grade it comes back as. But it was just more or less one of those, all right, you know what? We'll throw a weird curveball out there and see if PSA is actually stricter or if it was just my experience those couple times that we had the Topps cards that we sent out. Next up, as you guys can see, we got the Gem Mint 10 Duraludon VMAX from Skyscraping Perfection. This is a pretty big card. In a PSA 10, these typically go for about 400 to 450. We sniped this CGC one for like 170. So if this can come back as a PSA 10, which I fully believe it will, fully believe it should, then that would definitely be a huge win. I mean, most of the time, I think that people are just kind of like buying the reputation at this point of PSA. But for modern cards, CGC is just as good. And I think this is going to be a good example of that. I think this is going to, you know, kind of show us that's what it is. Even with an expensive card, you can still kind of trust the quality of your card, not necessarily the name. Next up, I think we got 2 left. So we got the Glaceon GX. This is a Sun and Moon era promo. 8.5. It was just like a random card. I wanted to send 10. This was the 10th that I sent. So just a random card. We'll see if the 0.5 helps or hurts. I think that this one, I was truthfully trying to see if I could get an 8.5 to jump up to a 10 if I just sent like some modern random like BS card. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this comes out. If this comes back as a 10, I'll be happy. And last but not least, we've got the Blastoise Gem Mint 9.5, Gem Mint 10 from CGC. This one should have been an easy 10, but I think I messed this up when I was cracking it. I'm pretty sure I nicked this with the screwdriver when I was cracking it. This was the first one that we cracked, and like I don't have a lot of cracking experience with this camera setup, and I'm like 80% sure that I nicked it, and then I decided to stop recording me cracking the slabs and just crack them the right way. But I'll roll a clip here of me cracking this, and you guys let me know if I nicked it with a screwdriver or not. So this might come back like a 6. I don't really know what to expect, but we'll roll tape and find out. All right, guys. So unfortunately, once I hit this with a screwdriver, I stopped cracking the slabs and I ended up deleting that video. So I actually don't have the clip of me hitting this with a screwdriver, but I figured we could take a closer look at it. I actually just did look at it and I found where the dent was on this card. You can kind of tell it got hit by a screwdriver. I'm going to try my best to kind of show you guys that on the camera with the light, but it is very hard to see dents and stuff like that in pictures. So you might just need to be something you see in person. But as you can see, this is the Blastoise, and if we come right over here, so I was cracking it out, get the screwdriver going, and as I popped like right here, the screwdriver slipped in and hits the back of this card, and you guys will be able to see that. Hopefully, the light will show you guys like right there. You see that dent right there next to the ring light in the white? I'm going to try to center it up in the light for you guys. So right there, you guys can kind of see there's that dent in the card. Where the surface stops being like smooth. That is me poking it with a screwdriver because we messed up. And to be honest, I'm kind of surprised PSA even gave that a 9. I truthfully thought that dented cards were auto 6s. So, you know, pretty happy at this point that a card could get screwdrivered and still come back as a 9. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the video of me dinging it with a screwdriver. Just a dent that kind of shows where it got hit. But all right, guys, back to the rest of this grade reveal that you guys will see in just a second. All right, guys, well, that was a good clip. As you can see, I screwdrivered the Blastoise. It happens. But so we got the grades, and I haven't looked at these yet. I know some of them because not all of these cards are mine. Some of these cards belong to my good friend and my intern, Kevin. So some of these are his cards. We're going to just go ahead and show them off because they're in the box and I don't want to mess it up. I've been informed of how to open this to do a good grade reveal. And I've been told that if I do it like this, Kevin's cards will be first, and then once I get through Kevin's last card, obviously it'll start being our cards, but we'll be able to tell. So yeah, we got our little grade reveal, and we're gonna go ahead and get these shimmied over here, and I'm gonna put Kevin's cards back in the box for him as we go, and we're just gonna like start it off. So let's see, I think I gotta rip it like this. All right, first up is the Iono Special Art Rare. Now, you guys might recognize this card. I pulled this card. This is a card that I pulled. Then I did a partial trade, partial sale to my buddy Kev. He decided he was going to grade it. I'm pretty sure it's going to come back a 10. I told him when I pulled it, I thought it was a 10. If he didn't want to buy it for his PC, I was going to grade it and like make some money on it. Kev, let's see how you did. It is, in fact, a Gem Min 10. Super high. I already knew this one, so I'm not gonna lie and fake hype. I already knew this was a 10. I know all of Kevin's grades because Kevin told me his grades. But still, congrats, dude. That's like awesome. Big win on the Iono. Next up, we've got the Roaring Moon SAR, and again, guys, it's gonna be a trend this video for Kevin stuff anyway. We got another Gem Mint 10, baby. Super cool cards. Great ones to be getting 10s, grading yourself. Like, Kev, you definitely won on this grade reveal. Pikachu with red. Super cool card. I love this card. This is probably one of my favorite cards out of VMAX Climax, if not my actual favorite card out of VMAX Climax. And Kev got a 10. So, GG's, buddy. These are great cards. Super sick. I know you're going to love all of these. I know that you're going to appreciate these in your PC. So they're super cool. This is a cool card. This is just a cool one. I don't see this very often. Not a lot of people have this. Not a lot of people like grabbed it or graded it. It's just a cool card. It's not like a crazy valuable card, but it's a cool card. And Kev did get a cool card 10, which is even cooler. It makes the cool cards cooler. I love Pikachu just sitting there riding on Growlithe. Like, that's a super cool card. Next up, we've got the Master Ball Eevee. Master Ball effect. These are super sick cards, the Master Balls. We like those. And Kev on this one gets his first 9 of the day. Oh, big sad, buddy. Big sad. It's still a super dope card, though. Still super cool. Still worth being encapsulated. It's a cool card all day. Next up, Master Ball Reverse Hollow Snorlax. This is the thick boy. This is the one I'm a little jealous of because, you know, I love Snorlax. Kev did get a 10 on this one. So, Kev, that's what's up. You got a 10 on this one. I'm just going to go ahead and hold on to this for you. You don't even need this back in your box. You can come over here with like all my Snorlaxes. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. Congrats, though. It's a big win. Definitely a good one. All right. We're getting into Kev's last couple cards here. The last 3 that he sent are going to be the Ralts line. So he was going for sequential 10s on these. The Ralts came back as a 10. It's a good start for a sequential 10 set. Next up is the Kirlia, and this is what messed everything up because Kev got a 9 on this Kirlia. Big sad, buddy. Hopefully, I don't know. There's no hopefully. It's the sequentiality is already over. Got a 9 on it. Still not bad, though. And last but not least, now this is kind of where the cracking experiment starts. I don't have the label for it, but this was a BGS Beckett 9.5. Most people already kind of know if you get a Beckett 9.5, it's the same exact thing as a PSA 10. Most people already accept Beckett 9.5s as 10s, and PSA also accepts Beckett 9.5s as 10s. As the Gardevoir gets the upgrade there. Super cool. Super dope cards. Kev, you did really good on this return. I am super happy for you. Great stuff. Really glad that the Iono 10 too. I would have felt bad if you got a 9 on that and I sold it to you, so glad that that one 10'd. But I'm going to put these away for you, packaged up, nice in the box, and I will give these to you the next time that I see you, probably this weekend, depending on when this weekend even is. I don't even know when we're posting this, but I'll probably see you this weekend at some point, and we'll get those put to the side for you. All right, now, the main attraction. Starting off with the Glaceon GX. This is the 10th card that we decided to send. We sent it because we needed a send. We got an 8.5 from CGC. I'm hoping PSA says screw it and gives me a 10. Ooh, they went down. They went to an 8. They went down on me there. All right. I mean, you know, we're looking at it. It doesn't really look bad. I don't know, man. This doesn't really look all that bad. I'm not really seeing scratches or anything. I don't really know why this got an 8. Whatever. CGC gave it an 8.5 for some reason. PSA is now giving it an 8 for some reason. So there must be something that I'm just not seeing. I'm just missing. Totally fine. No big deal. That is card number 1. So we have officially lost half a grade by sending out, which is totally fine. This is why we do these kind of experiments. We want to see. Next up is the Blastoise, the dented Blastoise. All right. Is this going to be a 10 or is this going to be like a 6 because I hit it with a screwdriver? Let's find out. Let's grab its label first off. Here we go. Label him. He was a CGC 10 until I hit him with a screwdriver. Now he is a PSA 9. Okay. I wasn't expecting a 9. I was truthfully either expecting a 10 or like a 6. So maybe I didn't hit it as hard as I thought with that screwdriver, or maybe it's just false. Maybe CGC 10s are not PSA 10s. I don't know. We'll find out with the rest of these cards. But I was not expecting a 9. I was expecting either like a 6 or a 10 on this Blastoise. So that's kind of an interesting one. They still stack even with the labels. That's nice. I can go through this later. All right, what we got here? We got the Rocket Zapdos. Now, this one I did not hit with a screwdriver. So this one should be a very, very easy 10. I mean, this one had 2 10 subgrades, a 9.5 subgrade, a 9 subgrade. It was a 9.5, a.k.a. CGC Fake 10. This should be an easy PSA 10 all day. And survey says... Ah, yes. Okay. There we go. We got a 10. First 10 of the day, baby. Let's go. I'll take it. I don't even care what card it is. I'll take it. First 10 of the day. Celebrations, Rocket Zapdos. I am very curious what the pop is on those. I bet you it's in like the hundreds of thousands. Super cool, though. I'm still stoked. That's what's up. All right, what's next? All right, this is a big one. This is probably the sweatiest card I got here. Well, the Duraludon. The Duraludon's the sweatiest card we got here, but this is the second sweatiest. This is the Vintage 9 that we had from CGC. I don't know, man. I know PSA is usually a little bit stricter on Vintage, but truthfully, guys, like, this is a clean 9. This was like, I know what's wrong with it, so I know it's not a 10. It's got like a couple white specks, but I'm really, really hoping that PSA at least keeps it a 9. If it keeps it a 9, I'll be happy. All right. Let's just pull the Band-Aid off. Yeah, okay, yes. Let's go. All right. PSA kept it a 9. Cool. So we went from CGC 9 to PSA 9. The difference is sellability and like $20. I'll take it, though. Like, honestly, I'm really, really happy to see that one stayed a 9. That was one of the ones that I was really hoping would stay a 9. But I also was like really worried about because, again, PSA is known to be stricter on the vintage stuff. So anytime I send vintage, I just automatically assume it's going to go down. Scizor, we had quad 9s on here. We had a mint 9, quad 9s. CGC said there is nothing 10 worthy about this card. I think it's a 10. I cracked it all day. I think this is a 10. And PSA, do you agree? Yes, you do. PSA agrees. Let's go, baby. Good upgrade there. Pretty much what I expect to see. Like, you know, the Zapdos going to a 10. Scizor going to a 10. The Glaceon hit me. That was a little bit confusing. I wasn't really expecting that. The Venusaur, super, super happy. Stayed a 9. Wasn't necessarily expecting that, but was optimistic about it. Scizor going to a 10. Big dubs. And now we've got the Rocket Gang Dark Arbok. Super, super cool card. Now this one, I'm pretty sure this one was pretty clean. We cracked it out of a 9, as you guys can see. Hopefully it stayed a 9. I think this one was pretty clean. I mean, it looks pretty good to me. Looking for dents. Oh, wait. Hold on. Is that a dent? There might actually be a dent on that Pokeball right there. I'll have to see. Check it out outside of the... That is definitely... Is that on the case? That might... I think that's on the case. We should be good. Well, let's just find out. What is that? An 8. An 8. All right, it didn't stay. But that's also kind of what we expected. That's why we sent some vintage cards, because I wanted to kind of show... PSA is definitely stricter on vintage than they are on modern. And, like, this is just a perfect example. This is exactly what I thought was going to happen today. Modern card goes up a grade. Vintage card goes down a grade. Kind of exactly what I expected. So, Still happy about it. Whatever. These are all kind of like junk slabs anyway. None of these really have value. These were kind of just some test slabs. The one that has value is the Duraludon. We sent that to see if an expensive card would still cross properly. See if they did more like looking at it and that kind of stuff in those regards. So yeah. Umbreon GameStop exclusive promo. This is like a cool card. CGC gave this one a 9.5 mint plus, which is not a 10. That's like their new 9.5. And now when I cracked this out, I'm pretty sure I saw like a couple white specks on one of these edges or one of these corners somewhere. And I thought that it might get a 9. Like it's right down here, I think. And I thought that it might get a 9. But we'll see what happens. I'm really hoping that PSA just gets a bunch of these and they're like, it looks good enough. Here's a 10. It's usually my experience with modern cards. If I send one that's like eye clean, it usually comes back as a 10. So hopefully this Umbreon will get that. Gem Mint 10. Let's go, baby. This is a good one. I'm super pumped for this one. Umbreon obviously is Umbreon. So definitely super, super pumped that one could move from a 9.5 up to a PSA 10. That's a big win for me personally. I like the card. It's a cool card. But we're going to just move right along into our next one. As we come in, I saw the back, so I already knew what it was. This is the Cardos card. I know absolutely nothing about these. Like, they're on this different style card stock. And I don't know. Like, it almost looks like it's scratched up to me. One of the corners almost look bent to me. I'm not going to lie. I know nothing about these and these card stocks and how these are supposed to look, but we sent it in anyway. It's like a super cheap card. I think we paid $8 for this, so it's like whatever. I really didn't care, and I wanted to experiment a little bit, so we got a Pidgeot. CGC gave this a 9. Now I have no idea what to expect. This corner right up here almost looks like there's like a bad scratch on it. If I can get it in the right light again. Looks like there's like a really bad like bend or scratch right there. I don't know. Well, let's just take a look. This was a CGC Mint 9 going to a PSA 7. So that kind of tracks with the Topps card that I cracked from a 7 and became a 9 in CGC. I've heard that they are definitely stricter and tougher on like weird stuff like this. So I figured it was worth the gamble. If it came back as a PSA 10, this might have had some value. I'm not really sure. I don't know how tough these are to grade, but this is kind of what I was expecting to see. We lost our camera again. Kind of what I was expecting to see though. All right, guys, I don't know when the face cam cut out, but we've been having some technical difficulties today. Don't really know what's going on. We got it back. It looks like it's going, so we're going to keep rocking and rolling and get through this good return. We got our Sandaconda V up next. This is a beautiful alt art. This is one of my favorite Pokemon. This is the Radiator Snake. This was a CGC Fake 10 is what we call them. Can we get it to be a PSA 10? I think so. I'd like to believe that anything modern like this should be an easy 10 as long as you don't hit it with a screwdriver. And there it is. But oh man, guys, you guys don't even understand. I'm actually very, very hype about this. This is such a stupid card. Nobody cares about it. It's a $4 card, but I love it. I'm going to tape this to my Sandaconda binder. It's just going to be right up front. I'm going to tape it on there. Maybe I'll get like a wall of 10s to tape on the binder. I don't know. We're going to see. I am hype about this though. Let's freaking go. Radiator Snake in a 10. That's what I'm talking about. And it helps track with the CGC stuff. Boom. So that makes this our last card. Duraludon. This is the big one. This is the one that we care the most about. This is the one that needs to be a 10. The alt art Duraludon from Skyscraping Perfect. Beautiful card. Cracked this out of a CGC Gem Mint 10. And got a PSA Gem Mint 10, baby. That's what we're talking about. Huge come up on this. Modern cards, guys, for the most part, modern cards are printed super, super clean. So if you get them in a CGC 10, I'm telling you guys, they're going to be PSA 10 quality. Let's go. That's what's up. That's what I like to see right there. The big one that we needed the most got the 10. The Sandaconda that I wanted the most got the 10. We saw some vintage stuff and some weird cards drop a little bit. We saw one vintage card stay the same, which I'm super, super happy about. Like that Venusaur, super, super happy that stayed. But yeah, guys, that's it. Just a quick little recap, quick little reveal. My parting wisdom on this one, always buy the card. Don't buy the grade. Don't buy the grade company. Buy the card. If the card says it's a PSA 10, make sure it's a clean 10. If the card says it's a CGC 9, look at it. See if it's actually a 9 or see if it was too harshly graded. Maybe it's a 10 quality. Buy a cheaper version. Send it out yourself. Get the 10. We bought a 10 as a 10 from CGC. The cheap version of this card, we're all in on this card like $200 now. As a PSA 10, it's going to be like a $400 card. We're not selling it. It's for the collection, but it's just like one of those things. We basically just got this half price. So that would be like my advice to you guys. If you're looking for like super expensive cards, like dumb stuff like that, go buy some CGC fake 10s for modern cards. You could probably get a Moonbreon fake 10 for like $600, $650. PSA 10s are going to go for like $850, $900 all day. Get it yourself, grade it yourself. Save yourself a couple $100. It's worth it. For modern cards, always worth it. I promote saving when you can. I promote doing like little tips and tricks and stuff like that. So this was a fun experiment. I definitely think that we can all agree PSA is stricter on vintage. CGC is lenient on vintage and like other oddity cards. And that CGC modern 10s are going to be PSA 10s. I think that's what we learned today. That's what we already kind of knew, but I always like to put my money where my mouth is. So that is what we did today. Hope you guys are enjoying the channel. Hope you guys are enjoying my journey. We've got some conventions lined up, so that should be fun. We got some fun stuff planned for that. We're going to keep ripping some Paldean Fates. We're going to keep trying to do some other fun stuff. But until next time, guys, PokePeeps is out, and we are going to go check out some of these technical issues that we're having.